Great. Welcome everybody to our webinar tonight. I'm going to talk about s- your roadmap to ICF Credential. Okay. So before we start, it might be very interesting to refresh our memory. Okay. That is, if I'm going to ask you this simple question, what is coaching? How would you answer this? Yeah. Who would like to make an attempt to try to answer these simple questions? What is coaching? Now imagine if I'm someone who is not coach trained, somebody like your colleagues, your friends, they come to you and say, hey, Susan, you just attended the ICF coaching training program. So what is coaching? So how would you explain to this person?
Can I say that coaching is the heightening of the awareness to deepen our learning?
Well, that is what coaching tries to do. so what is coaching? This is what you do as a coach. What is coaching?
It's a business.
Go ahead, Rebecca. How would you explain to your friend? Imagine you just return back to your office and all your friends come to you. Hey, Rebecca, I just heard that you finished this 4 days of daunting training. So what is coaching? How would you attempt to answer this?
What is coaching?
Yeah.
It's
Remember, I'm a non-coach trained, so I'm asking you from that perspective.
Coaching is a way to gain more awareness and to hopefully find, I don't know, to move forward.
This sounds like what coaching process is, and what people do in coaching, right? Yeah. This is what you would get as a result of this word coaching. Isn't that interesting to think about it right now that you have finished your coach training and into practical coaching session, and then someone comes to ask you, so what is coaching? You try to answer that question in the most simplest way. It's so interesting to see that you suddenly get tongue-tied. What is coaching? Coaching is deepening the awareness, heightened awareness, mirroring, help people to move forward. But these are all what coaching offers to give. But that doesn't really tell what really is coaching. Well, why do I raise this topic up? Well, I raise this topic up because it is important to, at this stage, to be very clear that coaching is both a practice and a profession. After spending so many hours in supervised practical coaching session, you're all engrossed in the skills of coaching, what to give, what to do in the process. So all those are important because it deals with coaching as a practice, as a skill set. But don't forget that coaching is also a profession. And because coaching is a profession, that's why it makes today's topic so relevant and important. We're going to talk about your roadmap towards ICF Credential. A lot of people are very confused about certification and credential. What's the heck of credential? I mean, I just finished certification after all I spent so much money in completing this training. Isn't that enough? Well, you need to understand that what is a certification and what's the purpose behind certification? Certification is just a way of formalizing your knowledge and your skills. It's just a way to say to people that you're formally trained with that knowledge and that skills. That's why we say it's a way to formalize your skills and knowledge. After certification, once ICF International Coach Federation assumes that you have a lot of experience prior to your certification training. But because you got so much experience, that's why you want to formalize your knowledge and skills. That's why you went for a certification. Now that your skills and knowledge is standardized to the industry standard, ICF expects you to be out there coaching people and use that formalized skills and knowledge and try to be of service to your passions or whatever missions that you are embarking on. And as you are in that journey of service to the community or to your client, you start to build those experience. And that's where you want to be validated that I am a professional, that I want to be recognized, to be esteemed in that regard as an expert. And that's why we went ahead to the next development stage to be endorsed with a credential, a way to be recognized as a professional in that domain of expertise. So that's the difference between a certification and a credential. A credential is a way of you demonstrating yourself as a profession that is true to a particular service industry. And as you take a look at all the mature industry, there is only one distinct common characteristics, that it has a way of recognizing itself. Okay, and coaching is no longer just a practice. It has arrived at a point where it has been esteemed as a professional service provider, as an industry itself. And take a look at some of those developed countries. I recently heard from students from France who come to me and say that, right now in France, if you want to be a coach, a professional coach, you need to be validated by the government. You have to register yourself, and you have to be endorsed first by the government before you can go around telling people that you're a professional coach. So that is where coaching is right now as a service, as an industry. And that's why we are here to talk about what is your responsibility and what is your obligation in terms of pursuing this profession. And I want to share with you a very nice video. Okay, let's watch this video and see what we can take away from this video. I'm going to share my screen, and here it goes.
Life in a big city like Tokyo can be very busy. I meditate to clear my thoughts and then be connected to my purpose. Coaching is like a meditation. It helps people to be connected to their true purpose and also to find their path. My name is Kentaro Hayashi. I'm an executive coach. I live in Tokyo, Japan. When I was in the corporate world, in some extent, I enjoyed being a corporate executive. I can close so many big deals and feel proud about myself, but something didn't feel right. I was not as happy as I wanted to be. That's the time I started meeting my coach. The leap to being coach, to become a coach, happened quite naturally because it gave me a big change and big shift in my life. So I thought I wanted to do the same to the people around me. I do coach so many variety of people, both in corporate world and also the personal life client. Recently, I work a lot with senior leaders. Not only I coach this individual for a certain period of time, I would involve the leader's team. A lot of things I love about coaching, especially I love the moment when my coachee gets an aha moment or realize that, oh, I need to change, or even I want to change, and then start this passion. I'm witnessing that exact moment. ICF came quite normal to my life because my coach was an ICF coach. The benefit you get from having an ICF credential is within you. You get so much confidence that you have enough education and also enough coaching experience that you are signed off to show the good performance toward your coachee or client. And another benefit is that it's received well among the international community, coaching community, and also with the business community. So that earns quick trust. The reason I want to be a part of the ICF is about what ICF does, and then I'm so proud of it. And then it is not just only thinking about the current industry, but the ICF is thinking about the 10 years, 20 years ahead of our industry. So that's what I'm proud of.
Okay, so what's your takeaway from this video? Anyone would like to share your takeaway?
I'm Andrea.
Go ahead, Amanda.
Amanda.
Hello, who's that?
Hi, Andrea.
Hi, Andrea. Go ahead, Andrea.
That video just indicated why I'm seated here at this time of hour.
Would you like to tell us
It gives me a real
why?
reason to be here.
Well, what's that reason,
Why?
Andrea?
Because it gives me the big reason, big why I went through that 4 days, why we got to go through the practical session, because the deed that moment that we is powerful.
Yeah. It is being true to a profession that is there to awaken the soul of humanity, to help them to realize their true greatness. Okay? So that's a calling to a profession, a calling, being true to a commitment that you make regarding that profession. And you validate that from an action to a commitment where you own an identity that is truly authentic and truly concrete. Okay. And in our coach training program, we focus a lot on the doing part of you as a coach. Well, mainly because that is what the academy is all about, helping you to acquire a sense of skills that allowed you to be able to coach somebody. So the focus is always on the doing part, which is fair enough because we have to honor the commitments that you have invested in terms of learning the skill set. While we are doing that, we never forget that important piece that ultimately the doing is strengthened by your being. And the reason why we want to put this discussion at this stage after after the 4 days training is that we recognize that there are some group of people here who want to learn coaching as a skills so that they can do and achieve. They want to learn coaching as a skills. But there is another group of people who see that it's not just a skill, it's having a profession. And that's why, and whatever that commitment is, it does bring you to a different route. They are neither right or wrong, but it's just that it calls for a very different kind of commitment. When I'm committed to learn coaching as a skills, basically I'm interested in learning tools and framework, learning the different metrics of scenarios that I can be able to learn to help to get a better result. But when you say that I want to be true, I want to be committed to coaching as a profession, it takes that to a next level of game altogether. It's just like when you're a single and then you decided to get married and you say, yes, I do. Then you get yourself into a new set of responsibility and commitment that you say, oh gosh, okay, it doesn't look okay, it's fine, it's fine. There's somebody besides you and you have to work both together, you know. So when I first get married, you know, my wife just takes half an hour longer than I usually get out of the house. So, well, you know, but that's just you getting adjusted to certain things. And then when you have your kids, oh gosh, everything is delayed by 1 hour. And then instead of dressing out nicely, you just have to put on jeans and t-shirt, and you're like, you know. But that's what I meant when you say that you are committed to coaching as a profession. It demands a certain responsibility that you need to be mindful to nurture and grow. If you neglect those things, then you won't be enjoying that season of your life, because you forget that you're no longer single anymore. You have another person that's beside you. You have to be more tolerant, and even though you know, there's a lot of things that you become mindful of when you know what is required of you. So in your roadmap to become your credential is a commitment from doing to a commitment to being. Because right now your doing will be strongly reinforced by your being. Okay, and that's what credential actually offers to you as a professional coach. Is a way of you holding yourself true to a profession that constantly reminds you of the reason why you're investing in this training and the reason why you are at this point of time investigating and exploring what's that roadmap towards a credential looks like and what is there for me. And it's always our responsibility to let you know it is more than just having an ACC, a PCC, an MCC. It is a way to tell yourself that I am a profession called with a divine purpose, and that purpose is awakened the greatness in humanity. Okay, and at this point of time, I would love to invite Julia and Haru and even Foreign. Foreign is here with us. Oh no, Foreign is not another Foreign. I thought it's Foreign now. But I would like to invite Julia and Haru to share a bit of their own journey as a credential coach. Julia or Haru, would you like to share with them?
Okay, Haru, you want to go first or?
No, you go first, lady first.
Oh, really? Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you for coming at this hour. And yeah, I think what Ben has said resonates very well with me. And I remember when I started the journey, I think I told some of you my story. I was working in the corporate, was a very directive force. And then when I got was running away from me. So that's when I really, after I got trained, I really, it's the desire to help people who are leading to become a coach leader. And that's something that the passion in me that keeps me going. And because of that, you need to practice, and you really get more and more involved in wanting that to materialize. And that's something that comes with the passion of a purpose that you want to really fulfill. And so that actually brings the insight out. Then and you become more and more attuned to become a professional, because you want to make sure that you deliver the best, and you want to go with the purpose of helping your client realize something that you went through that was so beneficial.
Yeah.
So that was something that really fire me to keep me appearing in all these sessions that Ben, whether he likes it or not, sometimes I will drop in and all this. Yeah. So it is really something you need to find that is within you, and like finding a job that you love, then you don't feel that you're doing a job. It's true that it has to come from within, and that brings you forward with, and the credentialing part is just part of, because you validate, you are validated, and you just another because you are trying to do what you want to do. Yeah, so that was my journey as a credential coach. And you really do feel more and more committed as you go along because of the life the people that you touch, and you see how they change and how they like what the video says, that if you know through your coaching, in fact, them shift, I think that's the best thing that can happen for a coach, which many of you, I'm sure, has already have glimpses of that and experienced that. So yeah, that was the journey that I have enjoyed so far. Yeah.
Thank you, Julia. That's Julia, Director of Training from Malaysia. How about Haru? What's your journey like as a credential coach?
Okay, thank you, Ben. Can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Hello, guys, all friends. I'm not as senior as Juliet, but I've been in the corporate life more than 20 years, and then I took early retirement about like 3 years ago, and then I wanted to find something, and I found coaching is one of my it's like fulfilling my passion. Just want to tell you about the credential quickly. About a few years ago, I got ACC from other coaching school. So I was trained by other coaching school, and I pushed myself within like about 6 months plus. I got my ACC, all the 100 hours and everything. And then I started doing the coaching. At that time, I was thinking it's quite okay, it's fine, because not all, but some of my clients seems they happy with the result. But then I met Ben last year, and then he like transforming my mind with the transformative coaching. What actually the main difference is, before my coaching is on the situational, on the problem solving, on the action planning. So I've been trying to help people to understand the situation, their problem, and then find the solution. Action plan done. But then when I learn with Ben, something much deeper. Of course, I have Julia, Hongmeng, other people help me, Cecilia. So Ben really like transforming me that there is another way of coaching. This is more sustainable, can go deeper, transformative. So we can change the person, not just the situation. So that's, today I'm pursuing my PCC under Ben's guidance. So I hope this year I can get my PCC and becoming a better coach to help people better.
Oh, thank you, Haru. Thank you. So I'm going to bring this discussion to a conclusion by using this metaphor. Becoming a credential coach is like planning for your wedding. But don't forget, a wedding is not the same as a marriage. Most people have spent all their energy and effort to prepare a good wedding, but they forgot that it's all about the marriage. So while we're talking about you going through the necessary process framework, requirements, the details. It's just like preparing for wedding. How many tables and what wedding dress to buy, what wedding dress and what photo studio shots and all those logistic parts. But don't forget, at the end of the day, the wedding is just a way to start something much greater. That is to bring you to a marriage, for you to be able to raise the next generation. Okay. So from a credential, getting credential is about just preparing for the wedding, but being a professional coach is like preparing a strong marriage. So with that in mind, I'm quickly going to move into the requirements or what ICF required in terms of you moving forward to get your credential. And I wanted to use the ICF website today here because I find it very helpful and it kills two birds in one stone, in one sense, to able to clearly present to you what are the requirements, and yet at the same time allow showcase to you where to get those information. You need to remember that the certification is issued by Coach Masters Academy. The credential is awarded by the International Coach Federation. So you can find all the details information that we're going to talk about it in ICF website, www.coachfederation.org. Look at the individual credential. In individual credentialing, you should be able to see the 3 levels of credential: ACC, PCC, and MCC. So today, most of our discussion is around the first level credential, which is the ACC. So when you click on that, you will be able to see that there are what we call 3 different pathways. Of importance to you that is related to this 75 hours coach training program, there's this one called ACC ACSTH pathway. So when you are ready to apply for your credential, remember that the pathway of the 75 hours coach training that you have enrolled here is under this path called ACC ACSTH path. In this first level credential for ACC, there are a couple of additional requirements that ICF required. The first one is that you need to complete at least a minimum of 60 hours coach training, which you have already, or most of you are in the process of most of you might have already completed. The 75 hours coach training program will adequately meet this requirement. Okay, mainly because CMA is an ICF approved coach training program. So all that it requires is for you to scan and upload the certificate at the later stage when you apply for a credential. So besides the coach training program, there are 3 others requirements. The first one is the mentor coaching. The second one is the client's coaching experience. And the third one is the coach knowledge assessment. Let me go through them one at a time to unpack what are the requirements that is needed, and then I will pause and allow you to ask questions in regard to that segment. So the first one is 10 hours mentor coaching. In a nutshell, what is the rationale behind? What is the rationale for insisting to have a 10 hours mentor coaching as part of the credential roadmap when you have finished 75 hours of coach training program? Again, you need to understand certification is a way of you stating that you have formalized your skills and your knowledge. And granted the fact that it's only 75 hours training. Now think about all your degrees and all your diplomas, they stretch for a long period of time. So while 75 hours might seem relatively long for some people, in the in the sphere of impacting or advancing human potential, it's just a tip of the iceberg. So when we have finished, technically speaking, when someone has finished a 75 hours or even 125 hours of coach training program, they are simply stating that they are able to demonstrate what they have learned. But whether they are able to acquire, whether they have truly acquired the skills and able to apply the skill at a consistent level are still somewhere in doubt. As in, there's no way within that 75 hours or 125 hours to come to a point to say that the person has truly acquired the skill. And also given the fact that coach training program might have their own focus point of acquiring of training their coaches, some academy focuses in helping the students acquire a particular framework of coaching. Like CNA, we teach our coaches how to use the ACC conversation to help their clients experience shift. So in the process of doing that, we might not be able to allocate as much time as we wanted to really dwell deep in the core competency that ICF has prescribed as as a framework that is required for ICF Credential coach. And also recognizing that for students who enroll for a coach training program, not all of them will eventually wanted to become a professional coach. Therefore, it might not make sense, for ICF to insist that, there must be a thorough coverage around the core competency. Because of that constraint, that's why ICF has put in place a mentor coaching as a requirement for ICF Credential. And in essence, what you try to do is to have someone who you can partner together for another 10 hours journey on a one-to-one level in a more personal, close-up manner where the person can inspire you beyond the technical skills, whereby there is a platform for you to take a little bit of that DNA from that mentor coach, to be aspired by the person's missions and visions about what is it like to be a professional coach. And also at the same time, to do justice, to allow that 10 hours to focus on really talking about the ICF core competency. Okay, whereby how you can integrate those core competency into your coaching conversation. In other words, how you can tune up and tone those muscles that you have built in the coach training program. Okay, so if you don't understand, just take it as a strength conditioning training exercise. I'm talking about gym as in toning. You don't build the muscles, but you just go to tone up your muscle. So this is what mental coaching is all about. An opportunity for you to tone up your muscles. So what are the requirements here? You can click for the requirements up. You need to be able to go in here. So sorry, let me just go back here again. Go to here. Here. Oh, where's that requirements from where you can download? Julia, I'm lost. Where is that that detailed description of the mental coaching where they can download all the templates? Any idea where that is? Just give me a minute. I'm trying to find exactly. Okay. Good. Okay. It's supposed to be here. Julia, somehow I can't find where is that template where they can find all the. Any idea where it could be found? It's supposed to be here, and then if you click here, you find here, you click mental coaching, you should be able to see. Okay, well, I'm trying to find where that whole detailed documents on the 10 hours mental coaching, take note that ICF requires 10 hours of mental coaching, of which you need to have at least 3 sessions of a one-to-one session with a mental coach, whereby the discussion is around your individual your individual coaching, and you get feedback on that 3 recording. The mental coaching can be divided into primary 2 categories. One category is where you serve as a external coach, or no, you serve as a freelance coach. Okay, and the other one is where you serve as an internal coach or as an external coach. What is the difference between the two? Let me talk about the first one, which is basically you can serve as a freelance coach. In those category, mostly the clients are, you have individual clients, or you actually find your own client. Okay, so in that category, the information that is needed basically are very simple. You need to have the name, the period, the total hours, and finally, is it paid or not paid? Okay, so these are the 4 main documentation that is needed for you to submit for the log sheet. Okay, so let me talk about this. Let me just pause here first and ask whether you have any question regarding this. Of getting your 10 so sorry, I'm a little bit confused. That is your client coaching hours. Let me backtrack again. I was thinking about the client's coaching 100 hours. Well, I'm talking about mental coaching. So sorry for the confusion. Now, for the mental coaching part, it is very simple. Just have to do 10 hours of mental coaching. Yes, why am I split my mind into 2? I was talking about mental coaching, but my mind is thinking about 100 hours of client coaching hours. and I was looking for where is the client's coaching hours log sheet while I'm trying to communicate mental coaching to you.
I have a question, Ben. Do you address the price of or the cost of mentor coaching later on, or
Okay,
how do we
good.
figure
I
out?
think good. So yeah, thank you, Mary. Let me clear the mental coaching part. Or you know what I just said earlier on, and let's come back. 10 hours of mental coaching is required for all the reasons that I stated. How do you go about doing mental coaching? There are 2 ways that you can go about doing it. First way is that you can go and look around. As long as a person as long as a mental coach is a credential coach, he's qualified to be your mental coach. Okay, that is one way that you can go around looking to complete your mental coaching. I call that the open market approach, whereby you go out there to source for somebody. Okay, now the price range will really vary according to each individual mental coach. It can range from maybe just a few dollars to a few $100s. Usually, a MCC mentor, just to give a range so that you know how much investment that you need to put aside. Usually for MCC mentor coach, the price range is between $200 to $400 per session. Okay, so so you have to specify how many sessions you want to take with a particular mentor coaching. But some mentor coach do have a package where you can consider signing up with them. Okay, so where do you find the mentor coach? You can either find it your own resources or your own network, or you can go to the ICF website. And in the ICF website, there is this called mentor coach directory. Okay, you can see over here, mentor coach directory. Okay, so when you click on that, when you click on it, you should be able to find an icon called Find a Mentor Coach. And when you click on that, then you do your agreement, you just agree, and then you can find those mentor coaches based on their credential or based on their country. Okay, so this is very helpful if you're thinking of learning a particular skills from this particular mentor. Like for example, right now, I'm doing my mentor coaching with another MCC coach. I'm not giving mentor coaching, but I'm being mentored by this mentor coach because I want to learn from this particular MCC the elegancy of asking questions, because I know this this MCC coach for this particular skill set, which I want to learn from her. So I reached out to her, and for 3 sessions, I paid about close to £1,000 because this mentor coach is in Europe. You see, so it comes at a different price tag depending on what is being available. Okay, so this is one way that you can actually find a mentor coach. Or another way is to come back to CMA and buy our mentor coaching package. Basically, we run a proprietary mentor coaching system called the Dynamic Review Report, which is aimed to calibrate your skills based on narrative, the science of narrative psychology that decode how people construct their thought process so that you can see the elements much more clearly. And then when you're able to see them clearly, then it helps you to kind of tune up your radar so that your radar is able to pick them up. As you notice that sometimes clients just pick up a chunk of content, and there is a system of decoding them based on what we call hermeneutic skills to decode their structures so that you have a better understanding that this is the intention, this is the object, this is the subject, this is the end result, this is the impact, this is the intention. So the dynamic report is aimed to it's designed purely to calibrate your skill set. So that is a unique system that we run at CMA for mentor coaching. It's a 10 package. It's a 10 hours package. It's not sold as an individual piece. It's sold as a package. Okay. So if you are interested, you can reach out to Maya and let her know, and then she will get you in touch with me, and that's where I would let you know further details. But for this point of time, you need to know that as part of the ACC credential requirements, you need to complete your mentor coaching. Okay, so once you have completed the mentor coaching, then the second requirement is for you to complete your 100 hours of client coaching experience. Okay, so 100 hours of coaching experience with at least 8 clients from the start date of your coach training. Okay, 25 hours of this must occur within 18 months of your submission. Okay, so you click on this icon, it will bring you into the detailed requirements of this 100 hours, what is needed. You can see here a template here, download ICF clients coaching log template. This is where it gives you a structure of what is the information that you need to capture. As I mentioned, it's basically the name, the period, total hours, and the fourth one is the email contact, and the fifth one is whether it's paid or it's pro bonus. So this template is a ready-made template. Just download it. My advice to everyone is that start managing your template starting from right now. Okay, because it will get very overwhelming if you do it at the later stage. It's better to do your housekeeping from time to time rather than to leave it till the end. And this is one of the many reasons why many coaches are not moving towards their credential, because they find it a very daunting task to backtrack and find the record. So make it a very good habit to start clocking down, start maintaining this information. Okay, so the hours can be considered as paid hours or pro bonus. ICF requires at least 25 hours as pro bonus and 75 hours as paid. Okay, so peer-to-peer coaching is accepted. So you can take a look here. Okay, now back to the different type of clients. There's individual clients. For individual clients, these are the records that is needed. Pretty quite straightforward, as I've already mentioned. Now, in terms of group coaching, if you are coaching a group of 10 person, remember it's considered as one person. I mean, it's considered as one coaching engagement. Okay, so it's a team coaching for 10 person and you spend 1 hour. It's only considered as 1 hour. It's 1 times 10. Okay, so this is the requirement. This is the specification for group coaching. There's another category called the internal coaching and third-party coaching. They're almost the same. It's just that they're different contexts. Internal coaching are particularly referred to people who are currently an employee of an organization with a specific function role as a coach, or one of your role as an employee of the company is to conduct formal coaching for your direct report or for staff across another department. So these are all what we call, ICF call that as internal coaching. For internal coaching, the documentation is has to be managed a little bit different, mainly because the client is actually the organization. So you need to produce one memo from the organizations or from whoever that you're reporting to endorse that you are an employee of this organization with this specific function to carry out coaching. And in that memo, you need to specifically write down. It's kind of like a broad statement stating that from, let's say, from January to December for the last 12 months, you have coached on a total of, let's say, 100 hours. Okay, that is what is needed. It does, and then for the supporting documents, you don't need to specify the name of the individual person you're coaching. You just only need to put, let's say, clients number 1, the period, and the total hours. Okay, so the exact specification is written down here. A third-party coaching is similar to an internal coaching in terms of documentation, but the difference is that a third-party coaching is where you are a coach and you are attached to a coaching company that provide clients to you. Okay, so in that sense, the coaching company that provides the clients to you is the organization that we're going to endorse the total hours of clients coaching. You do not need to write down the name of the clients that you are coaching. The coaching company will act as your organization to produce the documents. The documentation is exactly the same as the internal coaching documentation. Okay, good. So I'm going to pause here for a while and just open up for Q&A in regards to these 100 hours, as I recognize this is one of the most favorite hot questions.
Ben, Andrea here.
Hi, go ahead.
Okay, when you talk about group coaching, right, then how do we compile the contact details of these people who participate in the group coaching?
Good. So let's take a look at what the requirement state here is. It says here that you only need to get one person to be represented in the group coaching. Okay. As much as I can, usually this is a minor case not the majority case. But if it does happen, just have one member should be the contact point. Okay, great. Any questions you have regarding the 100 hours? Anything that might caught your interest or anything that you can think about? So template is found in the website. Download the template. Information that needs to be captured is found there. So you can just go and keep the log sheet there. You have to differentiate only between two categories. One category is where you are internal coach or external coach, or you are just looking for individual clients. Individual clients, the information required is as per template. Internal coaching or external coaching, it needs just a special management of the documentation where the acting organization will endorse the where you need to produce an additional memo from the acting organization to endorse the total hours. You're still required to produce the log sheet, but you don't need to write down the name of the client. Okay, just make sure the total hours that is computed from the log sheet corresponds to your memo. For example, your memo says 100 hours, so in your log sheet, make sure it's all add up to 100 hours.
Then this is Yon. I have a question. I heard before that we don't have to put the name of our client in that log sheet, but if you look in the website, it shows that we have to put the client name and email address and phone number. This is the same thing.
Okay, that's why don't confuse between individual client and internal coaching or external coaching. If you are coaching it, internal clients are usually applied to cases where the coach is a freelance coach setting up his own business and he's finding his own client. So in that regard, you have to follow the individual coaching format where you write down the name, the contact numbers, and as per the template. The only exception where you don't need to put the name of the client is where you are the employee of an organization and coaching is part of your functional roles. Okay, so in that regard, you don't follow the individual coaching format. You follow the one that is under internal coaching, where you need to get your acting organization to prepare the memo for you.
Okay, thanks for clarifying.
Thank you. Great. Any other questions that might cause your interest in regard to the 100 hours?
Is there any timeline for that?
Timeline for what?
Is there a time limit
for
you to submit from the day you get your certification?
At this moment, there is no restriction on the validity of the coach training program. So that means that you can be free to accumulate, but I won't say that it's cast in stone at this moment because there is some discussion ongoing in regard to putting a timeline as to once you finish your course training, when is a validity date for you to apply for a credential. Okay, but at this moment, that has not been, there is no specification. To be very careful.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Hi, Ben,
Any
Cindy here.
ICB, go ahead.
Hey, Ben, when we talk about 100 hours of coaching session, right? It's just talk about total of add up 100 hours, but regardless of how many session, right?
There is a requirement of minimum session that is need to be included inside these 100 hours. It's stated here that minimum you need to have 8 clients.
8 clients. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Any questions in regard to 100 hours? Okay, if not, we'll move on first. If you do have any questions, just pen it down and we'll get back again. And once you have finished your mentor coaching, and then in the process you have accumulated your 100 hours, the third stage is to complete your knowledge assessment. coach knowledge assessment. In other words, in short form, the written examination from ICF. So this is how the process works. Okay. Usually, we will advise students to start their mentor coaching almost like near to the end tail of the supervised practical coaching session. You don't have to wait until you finish it, then you start your mentor coaching. You can start to put in place your mentor coaching near to the end tail of your practical coaching session. Now, remember, as part for those who have not completed, who are still in the process of doing your training, remember one of the requirements is to produce one recording. Yes, so you can use that final recording as your first mentor coaching package. You know, if you're coming back to CMA, I'm assuming. Okay. So finish your do your practical coaching session, almost coming to the end till start your mentor coaching. Finish up your mentor coaching. It will take about 3 months to finish up your mentor coaching. Okay. So during this period of 3 months, concurrently start preparing your documentation for 100 hours. Okay, so that will get you almost, you know, by the end of your mentor coaching, if third or fourth month after your supervised practical coaching session, you know, you should have all the documentation at hand. And just remember that ICF requires minimum 6 months period before they can accept your credential application. So if you start your training, for example, in the month of, let's say, May, so the ideal time for you to start applying for your application or submitting your application is 6 months after the month of May. Okay, so June, July, August, September, October, November. So sometime during after November period, it will be a good time to start applying for your credential because the minimum duration is 6 months. If you submit earlier than that, be prepared to be questioned by ICF. Okay, which I don't want, which I think you would not want it to happen. So be very mindful that it requires a minimum of 6 months, which is doable, considering that you have to finish your practical coaching session and your mentor coaching session. Okay, so once you finish your mentor coaching session and you have finished your 100 hours, that is where you go to the ICF website and click under purchase ACC credential. Okay, I'm not sure why they use the word purchase, but that is what it is written there. It puts as purchase your credential. So I'm showing you where you can find the screen. Yes. So
and pay money.
Yes, you go to individual credential, click on ACC, and then then scroll all the way down. Before you actually start to purchase it, they will want to make sure that you have all the basic requirements. Please select what type of training you have completed. If you are submitting via the first level training of CMA, remember the accredited name is ACSTH. Is the training you are using as a start date of your client coaching of accredited with ICF as either ACS or ACTP? Put yes, and then put next, and then you should be able to find Coach Masters Academy right over here at the bottom. Now there are a few entries, so make sure you select the right one, because I do receive a lot of verification for wrong data entry, which slow down the application. So under Coach Masters Academy, for those who are submitting via the first level to 75 hours, remember to select this entry as core training for professional coaching, ACSTH. Click on that. And was any part of the training completed through CCE? Click no and submit. Then how many hours of training have you completed? Select 60 to 124, the range, and click on next. How many coaching experience have you since you started your training? Put 100 hours if you have in between this range. Okay, if you have more than 500, just click here. But this is a client's coaching experience. Usually it's 100 to 4599. Then you click submit. And then to come to the final part here, where you are required to purchase your ACSGH credential by clicking here, then the system will direct you to complete the payment. Now, the payment is listed over here. For ICF members, it's 300 USD. For non-ICF members, it's 500 USD. Now, after you finish your 75 hours coach training program, you are eligible to apply as an ICF member. As an ICF member, your membership fees is, Julia, do you know how much is it? 255, right? 245. So if you can do simple mathematics, you will know that for the first year, it will be more economic to register as an ICF member and invest 245, and then you will be granted 1 year of membership for you to take advantage of. So, and then at the same time, you can then apply to be the credential at $300. Your total investment is $545. So if you don't apply as ICF member, you still can go ahead and apply as a credential, but you're paying 500 USD. And you don't have ICF membership to take advantage of. So with a mere difference of $45, you can give yourself an opportunity to evaluate the value of ICF membership. Once you become an ICF member, you can access the international portal, international portal, and join their teleconferencing that is hosted by other chapters. Okay, or go into the portal where you can preview recorded sessions of those teleclasses. And some of those recorded sessions also includes the past ICF conference sessions. So it's a rich data that you can gain access to for 1 year for a mere with a mere investment of $45 to last you for 1 year, which is less than 45 divided by 12, is less than $6. Okay, so it's a good advantage. And the reason to put that in place is to at least give you an opportunity to assess the value of ICF membership. And if it really serves your needs and you really find it very useful information, you can continue to be an ICF member the next year. If not otherwise, you can just let it go and just continue on to maintain your credential. Now, it's important to know that ICF credential and membership are two separate entities. Becoming an ICF member does not necessarily mean you become a credential coach. Okay, those are two separate entities. As a member of ICF, you gain access to the valuable resources and partake as ICF member in the local chapter. Credential is for your professional development as a professional coach. Okay, great. So any questions in regard? I have finished what I needed to present in terms of the details requirements. So I'm just going to open up for Q&A. If you have any questions in regards to the requirements for your roadmaps for your credential.
Ben, it's Claudia.
Hi, Claudia, go ahead.
Good. I didn't understand one thing. I think since our training, you explained the mentorship part. You said the mentorship needs to be done once and don't need to be done on ACC level, needs to be done on until PCC level. You can choose between one or another. Now you're saying that needs to be done the mentorship now to ACC. Can you just please let me know if it's correct or not? I don't know if I understand correctly.
Okay, so let me bottom line it. For mentor coaching, you only ICF only requires coaches to do 1 time of mentor coaching if this is the first time you're applying for the credential. So if the first time that you're applying for a credential is an ACC, then when you upgrade to a PCC, which is a second time, of moving on to your credential, you don't need to do your mentor coaching again. Does that make sense? Good. So in other words, if you have an intention to become, if you have the intention to actually to move on to PCC credential, by attending the advanced training or whatever that is, in 15 months or 18 months down the road, and if you know that it's going to happen and you are very certain about it, then you can hold on to your mentor coaching first, because you still need to finish another 125. I mean, you still need to make sure that you have 125 hours of coach training program to qualify for PCC. So that's why it makes sense to hold on to your mentor coaching and do that at the PCC level, and to be mentored at the PCC level instead of at ACC level. That is assuming that you are very certain that this is what you are aiming for in the long term. Okay, but if that is not the case, then if getting an ACC credential is something that is an immediate goal for you, and it does have certain value for you to have a credential, then it is mandatory that you need to complete your mentor coaching at the ACC level, because that being your first time applying for the credential. Okay, so that is one part of it. To make it a little bit more complicated, once you become an ACC credential coach, your credential is valid for 3 years. Now, for ACC credential to renew their ACC credential in the 4th year, they need to accumulate 40 hours of continuous coach educational unit. That means 40 hours of coach training during these 3 years. They are also required to do a mentor coaching. That is applicable if you are ACC credential coach renewing your ACC credential on the 4th year. But if you are ACC credential and in that 3 years you have planned to move on, or you are in the process of moving on to your next level of credential, then mentor coaching is not required at ACC level for renewal. Okay, thank you. So that really speaks of the commitment of becoming a professional coach. Good, thank you. So it's not a one-time off event. It's a continuous effort of becoming professional. Okay, just like doctors, lawyers, they attend conference, they attend workshops, they attend dialogue sessions to continue to exchange their ideas, or to keep informed of what is upcoming. So that is a call to professionalism. Okay, any other questions in regards to the credential? Great. So if not otherwise, I'm going to put an end to this conversation, and